Welcome to Channel Devonity, the only show where a bunch of less than desirables play Dungeons and Dragons and drink copious amounts of cider in the heart of Devon. Hooar! Yeah, thanks.
Hooar.
Yeah, I really... thank you so much. The enthusiasm was strong in this lot.
Yeah.
How are we all doing? You all good?
Yeah, good.
Yeah?
Alright.
Can't complain.
Can't complain. No.
Don't get why John is so close to me.
He's feeling real cozy this week.
You two become real pals.
If you look back in episode 1, you'll see they weren't that close. And you can slowly see the gradual increase of closeness as the episodes go.
I'm fat, but I don't have like a gravitational pull or anything. Because if you listen very carefully, you can hear his chest scraping across the carpet.
Next week, I'll be behind him.
No, John, no!
Just looking over his shoulder.
See an arm go over every now and then.
Rolling dice.
Start playing that song from Ghost.
Let me roll that for you.
He just rolls his dice down your beard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good, well, I'm glad you're all good. That's brilliant.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm awesome. Yeah, I did this in 2 takes, so I'm pretty happy.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Record.
Yeah, no, pretty good. Pretty happy. So do you remember where we got to in the last episode? Episode 12, this is episode 13. Ooh, that's 13 episodes long so far.
Spooky.
12. So
Yeah, the unlucky episode.
Because all the other ones have been so lucky.
Oh, so it's going to be the episode where someone actually dies.
No. We've suddenly found
Is it
ourselves
going to be via talk?
parental responsibility, which is not what any of us signed up for.
Oh, yeah.
So we made it back to the village.
Yeah.
They threw us a party.
Everyone was like, "Oh, you're a hero."
Didn't go.
We're above it.
You had a bath.
I went
Some creepy man in the dark watched you.
I went to have a bath, and then there's some weirdo in my room.
He's like, "Go and get some cargo, take it to my boat in Jadizza. Don't show anyone what it is. Don't ask any questions. Tell very much. See you later." And we were like, "All right, that's obviously going to be easy."
Then he just sort of
Was it
sculled up on
you
the walls.
went to the warehouse to go and get
That's
the
annoying.
sand striders for our newly acquired pimp wagon?
Yes, we convinced the bloke that we knew what we were on about.
Yeah, the small shop
He was
standards.
definitely overpriced his gear.
Definitely.
Yeah, but that is one, like, fantastic Winnebago.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's got all the mod cons you could possibly
It
want.
does, yeah.
And then, we found
Ditched our own party.
a very, very small, weird friend.
Yeah.
Squiggles Buchanan.
Yeah.
Squiggles Buchanan.
We've named him.
That's his name.
He's an artist.
We're going
He
to
draws.
He
get
draws little
so
pictures.
upset when we find out his actual name.
It's Law.
No! Oh, I'm sorry. I've been watching Star Trek.
Oh, no, not that.
Oh, God!
We don't like to talk about him.
So we've got little Squiggles. We've got to take him to Jadizza, but we're not sure if
Apparently,
who we're supposed to be
to.
handing him over to are nice people. So we've left Odeska quietly in the night, missing our own party, which is kind of sad.
Nearly left the baby behind.
Yeah.
And we've just kind of pulled over somewhere off the road.
And had a little chat, yeah.
Odeska and Jadizza. We were like giving little Squiggles some like drawings to do because he seems to draw maybe the past, maybe the future. Oh, who knows?
A bunch of stuff we don't know what it is yet.
Yeah, so we had a little like
do we?
collective thinking about things session, and he seemed to whip up a little image. So we think he's he can teleport as well, can't he?
Yeah.
He drew an image of
his own kind.
And one for each of us.
Yeah.
So,
You don't know that.
Yeah.
Cool little dude.
No. We assume.
Yeah.
Um,
So we're like on the way to Jadizza, but like maybe we
got waylaid slightly, yes.
Yeah.
We also forgot that Sandstriders need food
Yeah.
and care.
Cool.
And,
Which is why you're having
you
to
gotta-
detour to Jadizza now to get some food for them.
Yeah, because we don't know how.
You need to ask a bloke what you do.
It did not come with a care
How do you look
manual.
after these? We've only dealt with fish before.
Yeah. Jackson's a lot less hassle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
bit
we got
bigger.
Jackson 5 carved on our whip.
Yes, on the back of your pimp
Awesome.
ride, you now have
Awesome.
Jackson 5.
and Boss Chops is pissed that he didn't get to rob that guy blind.
The Sultan.
So he's just going to have to make up for it on the next...
With a crime spree.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Next time we find an arsehole, we're just going to fucking...
Double the robbage.
Yeah. I've got some robbing saved up for you.
I need to do more crime, so I'm going to just stab you as well. Hope you don't mind.
That I did for the one shot. I thought that is very similar to what I thought.
Yeah, no, that is very similar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that a fancy wagon?
Is that a wagon?
Fancy
Yes.
wagon.
So,
Ooh, he's got a little...
it's got 2 floors, baby.
Oh.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, that gives us a good idea of what's
Thanks,
going
Chris.
on.
Edit that picture into shot.
That's really cool.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll post a picture on our Twitter that probably exists now.
Yeah, we got all sorts
Twitter
of
most likely will exist by episode 30.
Hopefully technology will have caught up with us.
Hopefully we'll have caught up with the interwebs by then.
We're in Devon.
Or it might be on Instagram or TikTok, we just don't know.
Can we
So I think
put all
that's
of
kind of
this
where we're at,
campaign
isn't it?
on TikTok so that we have to divvy it up into 3-minute chunks?
Jeez.
And we'll just have 10,000 videos for the first episode.
Yeah, sure. I'll get to work on that.
Yeah, good.
We'll just edit it down to like really short episodes. Like, I stab. We win.
So where did we stop?
So
You stopped
roadside,
just off the road.
Yeah, you stopped just off the road.
That's what I thought.
Now, Viatorum said he would ride through
he
the
doesn't
night
need
while
to
you guys
sleep,
rested because he didn't need to
Oh yeah,
sleep.
because you don't need to sleep.
And we'll take in little rotations as well,
Yeah.
a little bit of a kit.
Just at this point, it was just trying to get there, and then
Yeah.
we were going to stop at a village outside, and then get some info on Soundsrise and stuff, and get some food and things.
Do our best to not have to go into the city.
Yeah.
Well, I think we might have to at some
Nope.
point. Know the lay of the land a bit.
We're not going.
When we go in the city, crime guy's going to find us, and suddenly
Yeah.
we're booting
No, we can't let
squiggles.
But we also have the other problem that there
let
is
anyone see squiggles.
bugger all else around that area. So,
Yeah.
We got a map, it's fine.
yeah, but there's like literally Jadizza, then nothing. Really just-
So you're
Yeah,
about
pretty
a
much.
day's ride away from Jadizza at the moment. With no food for the Sandstriders, you are going to be required to. You probably will within the area. Unless you can find a settlement or someone that might have something that
You're going to have to go.
you're going to have to go to Jadizza to get feed.
The stable's right outside Jadizza.
That would be
That's our
handy, wouldn't it?
destination.
So that's what we're
It's like
aiming
nothing
for.
else around it.
And
We're
I
like
think
the
that's where
Jessica's
we
there,
left
so
it.
we're like
Yes,
on
that
this
is where
road.
we
Not
left
the
it.
pub that they asked us to go
Alright.
to.
well,
Okay.
we might go.
Another pub. Okay. Well, with that in mind, we'll jump straight in.
Jump.
It's been about 4 hours now on the road. Viatorum, you've been veering from the road left and right,
Viatoring.
continuing. Thanks. Continuing.
Viatoring and frying. Sorry. As you were.
Totally just massive muscly bloke just sat inside, just going,
Just whispers through the hat.
You're supposed to be asleep.
You continue to guide the wagon down the long road on this main trade route. The night itself is very dark, very bleak. The warmth of the day is now transcended into a very coolness of the night. After around 4 hours, eventually you pull the wagon up, looking into the back of your compartment to see your compatriots fast asleep and your new little white-skinned friend fast asleep, snuggled into snuggled into Normand at the time, keeping warm, potentially from his man fur, gut, beard.
Made a little nest.
Several areas of warmth available.
I hope there's one area of warmth that's off limits.
And slowly you begin to unroll the camp beds around your wagon before you tie the sand striders to a nearby tree stump, gathering old desolate branches that you find scattered around, and soon enough you get a campfire billowing, sparks and flutters of fire dissipating into the night sky, and offering some sort of soothing warmth in the icy chill of the salt crawl which you're currently travelling down.
Yeah.
As the cold sets in, a bit more and a bit more. Like the actual wagon itself, with only enough coal to keep the boiler and the heating system inside going for so long. Eventually, that fire is dissipated, and now as the chill sets in, each of you begins to wake in turn, a little shiver. But as you wake and lift your heads and glance outside, you can see the dim fire that's burning, and Viatorum is sat almost in kind of one of his trances, resting at this time. For your estimation, you've probably been travelling for a good 4 hours before he's pulled over. What would you like to do?
Go back to sleep because I want a long rest, not sure.
Oh yeah, I would also like a long rest, yeah.
So we're all inside the wagon.
Yeah, you're feeling quite cold though. And Viatorum is outside.
But we bought some coal.
But he's sat around the actual fire, the campfire is actually set.
Okay.
Yeah, you do have coal, but the actual the boiler itself, as none of you were awake, it has eventually died. So you would need to rebank it up.
Or just go and sleep out by the fire.
Enough
We can
one
conserve
fire.
our fuel.
That's probably a better idea. I'll pick up my bedroll and go and sit out by Viatorum.
Okay, so you head outside.
I take squiggles, I put it on my head, then I go.
He kind of like partially wakes up as you let him know. And then you begin to head outside too. And he just kind of clutches onto your head, and his little fingers just clasping hold of your beard strands.
Have we stopped by like a tree or something? Or
There is like a little tree where he's tethered the sand striders to.
okay. We'll go out. I'll go out and I'll actually climb up the tree and have a good peek around and just make sure that everything's all right.
Okay. I mean, a rough estimation, for those of you that are going to continue sleeping, it'd be best to take some watch. Though Viatorum, doesn't need to rest, he still needs to slip into his own trance.
I mean, I'll take a watch. I'll climb up the tree and take a watch.
Okay, so
I'll go after more sleep. Maybe a couple hours.
Okay. I'll do it. Shall I do a perception? Because I'm actively looking around. And
yeah, sure.
getting
So slowly, but one by one, you all drift back off to sleep around the campfire. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if you want to give me a perception roll, and then you'll be the first watch.
11.
11. Okay.
Great. It's not fantastic.
So you stare off from your position in the tree off into the night, taking a few swigs of water occasionally. Other than the snapping of twigs in the distance, you don't seem to spot anything. The occasional fire beetle glows in the deep of the night. There's a howl in the deeper night, and then the snoring of your comrades, mainly Normand. The embers of the fire are slowly beginning to burn to ash at this point, as you manage to head down the tree. You just bank up the campfire a little bit more, just to create a little bit more fire. Other than that, there doesn't seem to be too much more that happens during your watch.
Yeah. Cool.
It comes to the end of your 2-hour interval, I assume.
Yeah. I'll wake up.
For nothing.
We didn't really arrange a rota, so I'll just.
So I'll go next.
Oh, did you? Okay. In that case, I'll wake you up.
Yeah.
Your turn.
My turn for what?
Watching.
I'm always watching.
Clearly not.
I know exactly where you are, Marcy. You're there.
Get up.
If I have to. I'll slowly break myself up a bit.
And I jump
Stretch
on
out
his
a bit.
still warm bedroll.
Okay.
Good idea.
Well, that's just rude, isn't it?
So
Take it as
I lay down.
Teddy bear out.
Yes.
I'll get up
I
and
get
walk
my
over
bear
to wherever your Torm is and see if he's like conscious or whatever, or just in his own little mind.
Smack him.
Okay. He seems still lost in a trance at the moment, but you think if you do want to wake him up, you would be able to.
No, I'll just sit down by the flames and I'll start changing the colour of them. It's going from blue to red to yellow.
Definitely thought you meant Viatora.
And now he's blue.
Sit down. I was going to give you a bit of a lecture as to why that's not okay.
Yeah, these flames are just changing colours and I'm just staring up at the stars.
Okay.
Just looking at trying to work out like stars that I recognise from where I came from, stuff like that. Constellations and stuff.
You see, looking up into the high skies above, some of those stars twinkle and glitter. You see a series of stars that form a sort of field scythe, and you recognise this from back home in Colonia, in the Far East. It kind of gives you a bit of a soothing homeliness, and a little bit of homesickness as well.
Yeah, I'll just sit there and grab my shield from my back and just kind of look again and go, talk to myself kind of going, well, we've come pretty far, haven't we? After what happened. I mean, no one could have predicted what the hell happened here, but what a strange world, to say the least.
Isn't it still broken?
Yeah.
Yeah, it still has the
Scorch marks,
burn
yeah.
and scorched.
It's a rust on it.
Dated.
We totally forgot to sort that.
There was no blacksmith.
If you, as you watch off into the night, do you want to give me a perception roll?
Can. Where the fuck is my perception? Yes. +4. It's not good. It's 7.
It's not good.
I'm not paying
It's
attention to what's
7.
around me. I'm just looking at the sky.
He's staring at your shield.
Boy, this shield is really
You fucked.
damaged.
Just as like a pack of werewolves. Just
One of us just biting at my leg.
The werewolf's got this
shield.
Big funny werewolf comes out, you're like, we've come really far with the werewolf's like,
Yeah, we have.
How did you know that?
I told you how far we've come.
Shield, you're alive!
oh god, my leg!
Were you with us before? Are you a new member? I don't know.
You continue to look off into the deep of the night, and
Yeah, kind of in my own little world of like reminiscing about
mainly
shit.
lost looking into the stars and just thinking to yourself and lost in thoughts and contemplations of the trek ahead. You don't necessarily notice anything amiss. There's like an occasional you catch like an occasional blue shimmer of light in the distance, but pass it off as just moonlight rays. Eventually, after a few hours, you kind of realise that now it's probably time to change.
Oh. Okay. Feartorm, are you with us?
Yeah, well, that would have been my 4 hours.
Yeah, you'd had your 4 hours chance, and just at that moment, you
So
need to come
just
back to
like-
reality.
just like. Yes, I am okay, I believe.
Good.
How's our small friend doing?
He seems pretty happy with Norm over there.
Can you be asleep on my face?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally currently just it's just currently like cuddled up in like the semi face and also beard, like just like bum facing his face, and then the creature's like head and arms that are just like using your beard and wrapped around itself as a makeshift blanket. And as you look to the little creature, you just hear. And it's just slowly sleeping.
Norm is not breathing.
Just because we killed him.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I think he seems pretty fine there with Norm.
Yes, looks like our small friend has found a friend, at least.
That's the thing. I'm not really sure still what we're going to do with him.
No.
I mean, I'm all for helping him and everything, but
Well, I think at this point...
there's some weird stuff going on here, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think at this point we just take one step at a time. We need to go somewhere to get sand striders looked after.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the best course of action.
I think it might be worth taking an inventory of what we're going to need as well.
Makes sense.
Because the cabin's fairly close to us. I just nosing the door, I see the fire's gone out. We've got like limited.
Yeah,
coal.
you got like half a bucket of coal left at this
Yeah.
time. It didn't come with a massive supply.
Yeah, so I think at this point we're going to need to get supplies as soon as we get.
Yeah,
Should you do
one
it?
way or another, I think we're going to have to go into the sea.
Yes.
Probably not all of us, but
No.
one or two of us are going to have to venture in, I think.
Yes. I just look around, check everyone else is like, alright. And then
Everyone else seems to be fairly sleeping.
Right.
just sort of taking what's around and I'm like, go off to sleep, you're going to need more
Alright,
than
shall I wake someone up?
No, it's fine, I'm
Sure.
good from there. And
Alright,
then,
see you in the morning.
yeah, and just,
I'll just go over and just kick Moss off the deck.
just kick him out.
Just boot him off.
Yeah, I think I'll have a look around and then I'll keep the door open and I'll just do like a bit of inventory.
Okay.
Just taking what we got inside, just, you know.
Okay.
I'll walk around in it and then go up and have a look around, check where all the bedding's laid out and everything. Just see
Yeah,
what we need.
everything seems it seems in pretty good order. The inventory, you roughly estimate you're probably going to need to spend about 10 gold in provisions to stock the actual wagon up correctly. That'll be coal, food, potential emergency water and supplies,
Fishing.
Yeah.
fresh bedding and linen possibly.
We've got those nice
Well,
silk ones that
We
we
got,
stole.
we
Yeah,
got
yeah.
the ones we pinched,
Yeah.
We're good for bedding. We took that.
Yeah, we'll have this.
What fancy robes you have, Normand. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just do that, and then once I've done that, go outside and just sort of. I'm going to sit up front.
And up front of the wagon. now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then just keep an eye on the road, just in case people are travelling to and fro.
In the distance, you can see a few torchlights of moving, what you can only assume moving caravans and wagons and travellers, but they seem fairly far off from your current position. Give me a perception test.
I'm going to do it with my
Sure, you're gonna go
On the old Mongol.
nat 20 and all nat 1.
Nice.
So
Wow.
best of both worlds, really.
Good thing that you have the right clothes.
So basically, you poke yourself in the eye and go, oh,
Which role would you prefer to do?
The one I don't blind myself.
Okay, so glancing out into the deep black of the salt crawl, you catch sight of more firebugs that's fluttering in this chasing crescendo, up, and then they just flicker into nothingness. You bring your eyes back to level then, with the road ahead, and then just another icy chill just begins to blow through your bones. It's then that you catch sight of a bluish shimmer, and adjusting your eyes, looking a bit closer, it looks like a blue shimmer of a woman.
Okay.
It's not Trish.
How far off?
she's back.
How far off?
It looks like about 20 feet away.
So very close then.
Yeah, very close. It's
20
just
feet.
off the side of the main road.
Just
Oh, it's about 2 feet away from you.
And as you see her just stood there, as a shimmer, you see that she takes a step and then another step away from you and just seems to disappear off into the night. just heading off west through the salt coral dunes.
Okay. Oh, cool.
These salt flats are haunted.
Yeah, it's just like
It's Victoria's new girlfriend, the ghost
or
lady.
like a physical person.
Well, from this distance, you couldn't. I mean, she was very close, but you couldn't quite
Make
estimate
it
whether it was ghostly or whether it was a more solid shape. You just saw a blue shimmer of a
Solid
woman.
ghost.
Well, I'm going to do my
seemingly-
best impression of a highwayman, and I'm going to click back the lock on my pistol. Just like I'm like, maybe the meditation wasn't long enough. I'll just keep an eye in that direction. Eh? Can I hear them moving, like stepping, or are they just like? And it turns around and just starts going back. And I'm
Quick, get the monocle back on.
you just hear that really strange Evil Dead sound. Now you give me another perception roll.
Oh, Jesus Christ, you're going in a bin. 16?
16. Okay. Listening out, you can hear. It sounds like shuffling.
Okay.
Whether or not that's something on the ground moving, or whether or not it was the strange bluish woman. You catch sight of the blue woman again, now about 40 feet off into the distance.
Okay.
And she kind of takes a look back, glances your way. At that moment you lock eyesight. And then she kind of turns almost with a heavy sigh, and then begins to step back deeper into the dunes, and again you see her just fade off.
Oh, wait, don't go.
No. just saying to them like, yeah. Woman? Woman? Oh, goodness.
There's no answer back.
No one's going to believe me.
Is that you, Trish?
Are you here? Yeah. If I think she's walking, and she just... Does she look just shimmery like, does she look like a person, or is it like... I'm not going to say ghost,
Ethereal.
but, yeah.
As she gets
There you
further
go.
away, it becomes harder to distinguish what you saw first of all.
Okay.
You know that she looked kind of shimmerish, but at the same time she looked solid.
Is there any talk? Is there any like fably stuff I know about? Like, is there like not spirits, but like fey creatures that take that sort of form?
Not necessarily that you've heard of at this far out in the in Vivesca itself. You know that there are there are things that have been seen out.
Yeah.
Some people claim it's more of like heat stroke,
Okay.
just
Mirages.
yeah, like a mirage or apparition, or just something which plays with your mind because of the dunes itself. But you've not heard of any fae or anything that inhabit the dunes.
I'll take time to take some water on board because I'm like, maybe I am. Yeah,
Maybe wake someone else up. Might be a good idea.
You take-
Second pair of eyes.
So yeah, well, if she was coming closer, I probably would have been like, "Hello." But at this point, if she's going away, I'm not overly concerned. I suppose because I'm probably going to put it down to like not a heat mirage, but sort of.
You've had a long day.
Yeah, I've had a long day, and I'm just like
Stressed.
There's no need to shoot the ghost.
Yeah, there's no need to shoot gaze. Yeah, so I'm just a little bit like I'll just keep a general eye in that direction, just to see if she is turning, like she's circling us. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Because if she's circling, I'll probably wake somebody up. Yeah.
All right. Give me another perception test.
23.
Okay. You look up. You continue to look into the direction where the shimmering woman was. You don't catch sight of her again, but instead you see two more blue individuals. They seem to be dressed in like soldiers' uniforms. And you see them stepping about 30 feet away from you, just glide across the road, and then you see them heading again off into the actual dunes themselves, into the salt quell, deeper into the darkness.
Glad I'm asleep.
Yeah. Hate to break it to you, you're going to be the one I'm waking up. I think they like. Dan, Fenrir is just, I guess you're just asleep, just like.
Asleep. Hammer on top of me.
Just statuesque pose. Not fear.
Not fear the start of a man like that.
You think this is creepy?
Come with me,
and you'll see a man of pure imagination. We get to the front of the cart and I'm like, the fuck?
Okay, you sort myself out.
Yes,
Alright, get my armor sorted.
strange thing,
Sort my hair out.
there was a woman across the road,
Okay.
looked at me,
Very weird.
carried on walking,
Alright.
and now more ghost things were arriving.
Ghost things.
What?
You said she was a woman. A ghost woman.
I'm half and half.
Half ghost, half woman.
Sort of like the milk.
A milk woman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Creamy white.
So
ginger blue.
So you've seen a strange, somewhat
I
ghostly
literally
woman.
just like, and I just point at the two soldiers, which I presume are still slowly crossing the desert. I'm like,
Ah.
those.
Yeah, so as you see them, you do see two soldiers. Though I was very tempted to say they weren't there.
He just got mad.
You do see two well-clothed soldiers, and they look like military. They don't look like mercenaries.
They blue again.
Again, they're blue shimmers, and you see them walking off further into the distance.
Okay, and how far away are they? Like 30 feet?
Yeah, about 30 feet.
Okay. Did they seem aware of your presence, our presence?
Well, the woman looked at me, but I don't know if she was looking in this general direction. They don't seem to be circling us, they seem to be just heading towards the dunes.
Got a strange air about them. Can I like pick up like a tiny pebble and just try and like
Yes, throw something
Yeet out
at
them.
Great idea.
just a little thing?
Yes.
Yeah. Just to see if it gets their attention at all.
Okay, sure. Give me a general dex.
General what's
How
on
close
deck?
you get?
Oh, -1, okay.
Oh, it's gonna be cool. 17.
17.
I was going to say.
Okay, so you get this little pebble from the ground and you throw it away. And it lands and bounces near their feet. And you see the two soldiers, they just turn their heads and look your way. And then just look towards the direction that they're heading again, off into the dunes and begin
You
to
seem
float
quite
and continue.
focused on your lady friend.
Well, we all fall into that trap, my friend.
We've all been there.
Yes.
We've all been there.
So are they heading towards the salt pool?
Yeah, so the salt crawl is actually what you're currently travelling through.
Okay.
It's part of a vast desert of dunes which connects Jadizza and Adeska.
Okay.
I wonder if they're heading
Do we want to assist the lady?
I don't think the lady needs our assistance.
It makes you say that.
Due to the fact I'm pretty sure she's dead.
That's a strong assumption.
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm in the understanding of you don't fuck with ghosts. Just my personal opinion. But from everything else we've seen, we're having fairly challenging times with the living.
Yes.
So Norm's almost got eaten by a skeleton, and
yeah.
that's very much ghost direction.
Yeah, Norm
So-
won't be a fan.
Yeah.
Unless just me and you take just a little walk into the forest and just make sure she's okay.
Might be worth waking up somebody else just in case, nibbly wolves come.
Nibbly wolves.
Little nibbly wolves.
The old nibbly wolves.
Shall we?
Very famous in these
The
parts.
nibbly wolves, they're the worst ones of all.
nibble on your ass.
So,
Should we let Zeal know he's probably not been asleep for too long?
yes, well, Seal is very good with moonlight and darkness, so
Maybe Zeal can come.
maybe he'd know more.
Ah, Zeal. Okay. Okay, Benria's gonna go get Zeal.
And I'm like, gently.
Just put my hands really gently on his shoulders and shake him.
I was like,
Zeal! Zeal!
Not too vigorous, his
Seal.
head will just come on.
I just hold his head for stability. Zeal!
He's just flying. Oh, goodness me.
Zeal! I don't think I appreciate that.
oh, fuck off.
No, Zeal, this is quite interesting. It's quite interesting.
Why, what's happened now?
Maybe some kind of possibly dead ghost lady is being pursued by two potentially possibly dead soldiers. We might be worried about her. We might be worried about ourselves. I'm not sure. I think you should have a look.
What's he been dreaming about now?
I know, I saw it too. I thought he was, but I've seen it.
Right next to you.
I saw it.
Wasn't just me.
Well, I didn't see the lady, but I saw the two soldiers.
Oh, come on.
I believe you.
Thank you.
Right.
Thanks.
How much sleep did I get?
Probably not quite enough.
About 3 minutes.
About 15 minutes. I'll just my apologies. You can go back to rest straight after this. Just some minor questions on ghosts.
So he went that way.
Are they still within eye shot?
You can see them about roughly around about 60 feet away now, but you can see them slowly fading off.
Barely see them. If I lend you this, and I hand you, and then let you roll to see if you can see them half decently.
And he's like, poke out.
I can try. I can try indeed. 20, but not natural.
Okay, yeah, you do catch sight of the same soldiers. They do look like they're wearing armour. The armour itself looks actually Vivescan in origin. One of the interesting things, though, is that one of the soldiers also seems to be dressed in Colonian armour.
I'll relay that again. Right, not to be even more weirder, but I know what Vivescan armour looks like, and also know what Colonian armour looks like. And one of those fellas is wearing a mishmash of both.
They're not usually known for working together, are they?
Let's just say they ain't the friendliest
No.
when they come to each other. Colonians and Vivescans, when they meet in armour, tend to want to kill each other, so that is not normal at all.
In your opinion, would you say they're ghosts?
I'd say there's something like that.
Yeah, you get a rough estimation that you probably and potentially are ghostly apparitions.
I suspect they're a spirit of some kind.
Should we be worried?
Well, they don't seem to be wanting to do anything to us.
I'll just keep this.
But it does make me wonder what on earth. I mean, from what I know about ghosts and spirits, they tend to haunt places that with significant things have happened. Like, I don't know, old churches and battlegrounds, stuff like that. And don't really seem to be anything like that around here.
No.
So I don't think you tend to get ghosts that just go for a jaunt around at the middle of the night for no reason.
Right. Well, do we go and see where they're going, or do we just wait here for the morning?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, whatever we do, we probably need to wake the others up.
Yes.
Or at least one of them to
Yes.
maybe keep the little fella asleep. He's...
Yes. Might be worth waking Moss.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, I wake Moss up.
Okay.
Moss.
Why aren't I in the sleeping bag anymore?
I don't know.
You just roll around in your sleep. Do you not know that?
No, I didn't.
We're having some small issues.
Is there any chance you could just stay with the camp for a second? We're just going to go for a little wander.
We're just going to go and have a look, just to make everything's all right. But you just stay and look after Norm here and Mr. Squiggles here.
Sounds ominous. All right.
I don't think it's anything too bad to worry about. We just want to make sure, that's all.
Well,
I mean,
okay. Well,
if shit goes south, we'll put a signal out somehow.
I'll watch you from up the tree.
Yeah, that's probably the best idea.
Yeah, and then
If we see us running or something else happens, then probably wait no. But
if the musket goes off, probably a good sign.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah.
You coming too, Femra?
Walk out into the desert.
I wouldn't miss out on something like this.
Okay.
Alright, let's go.
Okay, so 3 of you begin to head off in the direction.
Can you smash ghosts with a hammer?
You can.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You continue walking in the desert.
Smash ghosts with the hammer.
Yeah.
I can.
And you kind of lost sight of the soldiers, but then a little bit further away, you eventually catch sight of the blue shimmering woman again. You follow her for and notice that she now seems to be gliding aimlessly across the arid ground. You continue following her for about another 60 feet or so, when you spot several stone slabs and headstones covered in overgrown foliage. Dustweed had grown to pull the headstones into the earth. You step a little bit further between the headstones and you look around and realise you're stood in a very small gravesite. Maybe around about 50 headstones here.
Okay.
They're not legible, they're so old. Sandblattered, dust. You one by one you step down to some of the gravestones and wipe away some of the dust and the old dirt, and you reveal some letters and words, old names, lost souls. Some of the names that stand out are old Vivescan, Zamias, Kilth, Evrada. Etched under their names are dates so close together. 514 Awakened Era. You see another etching that reads, "Our battle brother who fell this day." Only a few days from another name, you see another one of the stones.
How long ago was this?
So 514 Awakened Era would have been, it's around about 25 years ago.
Okay.
So it was during...
Do I know what happened 25 years ago? Or was there a
give me a history
check?
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing I know there was something that happened 25 years ago. I do. 15.
Okay. So you know that during the Colonial and Vivescan war, they referred to it as the War of Attrition. Many attempts were thwarted by the Colonial Empire. They would sail down the creeping shallows and traverse the salt-crawl dunes in hopes of attacking Jadizza head-on. But the Jadizran desert rats were waiting and would engage with the Colonial forces by surprise attacks, creeping out from the sands and gaining an advantage. These brave men and women, they just seem like they're merely forgotten in the desert dunes, with no one to tend their graves out here in the salt crawl. You can only assume it looks like Acacia, the world tree, has seemingly began to take back and reclaim the souls to her own earthen roots.
I'll explain to the others and say, what happened here was, during the war, and it's like wherever these souls are, they're long forgotten.
Yes.
There was many people that died in that war.
Oh, well, that explains the apparitions.
Yeah, if this was, at the forefront of some kind of battle.
Most likely. I mean, like I said, I'm not a massive expert on ghosts, but usually it's something to do with unfinished business or something like that.
Give you a hearty slap on the back. This is your gig, spells and bells.
Ooh, I can do all kinds of exciting things. Well, not really, but I can look out for Ghost Lady.
So the ghost, the shimmer of the ghost lady itself seems to dissipate again.
Maybe it does that. No.
I think. Is there a thing you have that puts things to? Is there a thing that she has that puts things to rest, like an ease to rest? Isn't that a
I've not got that.
prayer thing they have?
I was just thinking there's the spell ceremony, but it doesn't.
No,
It
that's
doesn't
more for
really
like. Well, that's for people that have died and for weddings and other weird stuff.
There's always violence. I'm just saying,
There is.
you can hit ghosts, you can hit ghosts, you can
Or we
shoot
can
spells
just-
at ghosts. We're going to lay you to rest.
Try and
by
put a little
force.
like.
You will rest.
I'm just gonna kneel in front of the things and go and try and talk. I'm literally just making it up on the spot as I'm going, just going. Right. Look. I'm assuming whoever you are, you have some sort of unfinished business. I mean, I don't tend to be the most holiest of men in the world, but well. It seems that the gods are taking a particular interest in me for some reason. So I'll try to do my best to put you to rest as best I can, but maybe if you told us what it was you actually wanted, that might help. And I just kind of hold. And on my necklace is like a basically very someone's going, any help you could give us would be much appreciated.
It's just an eerie silence around the gravestones at that point. Not necessarily like anything answered back, but just nothing.
Well, that didn't really work, did it? You got anything with Ephemera? I know you have had
I can try. I've found so far that the gods haven't been massively responsive when we've needed the help so far.
That's true. I mean, the one, well, less said about her, the better. Anyway, let's go. Let's try something. I mean, I don't think they're going to attack us or anything. I think they're just wandering souls that have lost their way. Maybe they need to find their way back to the World Tree.
Yeah, in matters like this, it can be easy to do more damage than good.
Yeah.
I feel uneasy intervening on obviously sacred ground where lives were lost.
I agree. Maybe we should just leave it be.
Yes.
They haven't harmed us.
Yeah,
We don't want to harm
don't
them.
want to provoke.
Right.
If any souls need any help,
Now's the
Your
time
last
to come and
chance.
ask us.
Final offer.
I'm
Redemption and
in
salvation.
all this, I'm just staying sort of back because I'm a Scientologist, so
You're waiting for the aliens to come down.
I'm waiting for my mate Bruce to come back. Yeah, really, realistically, I don't think it's great. I'm sort of a man of science more than religion,
Yeah.
I suppose. So all of this is sort of very sort of not strange, but nuanced.
yeah, fair enough.
So
You're trying to find an answer to it, but you don't.
Yeah, exactly. There's no logical answer to it for me, so I'm
Yeah.
just a little bit like staying out of it.
So as you stay out, you casually glance over at one of the other gravestones, and you see a gravestone with a very colonial name about it. It says Bryn, and then scrawled underneath it, this phrase reads, "He fought with the heart of the Vescan. Our enemy is our friend in death."
Interesting.
It's quite a nice sentiment.
That's probably the potential grave of one of our soldiers, our ghostly soldiers that we saw.
Well, that'd be the one
With the crossed
that's
armour.
guessing someone who switched sides.
Or had a friend on the other side and just refused to fight.
There is a bit of that. There's a few of us in the Colonial Empire that didn't really agree with how this war went down. I know for a fact that there were many that didn't want it to happen.
Yeah.
And, well, the Emperor just tends to do what he wants to do at the end of the day. Not always the most popular of fellows, to say the least.
An emperor not being popular.
Weird.
If you guys are fairly comfortable now, I reckon we mosey back. Then you guys rest now.
I think that's all we can do. I'll just go across to the grave of the Colonians, put a hand on again. Hope you find your way back, brother.
Brother.
And then we'll start walking back, yes?
Yeah. Fenrir's pacing off, nearly with a bit of an uneasy, angry stomp to it.
Must be sleep.
Something like that.
Yeah.
You approach the camp. You see Moss Chops is hanging upside down in the tree.
Just hanging. Oh god! Oh god, it's got so he tripped and hung himself.
Yeah, he's just like hanging by his legs upside down, and he's just like.
Well, like Batman.
And he sees you guys coming up, and he goes, "All right, can I go back to bed now?"
Yes, you can.
Just fall asleep on something.
And I just let myself drop and just land like a cat.
Cat. Adorable.
I will
Scott
reassume
back
my position
Less adorable.
at the front of the cabin and just keep an eye on the road and see what's coming.
Okay. Do you settle back down as well, too?
Yeah, I'm going to go back into the wagon, slam the door behind me.
Okay.
Slam.
Okay. So,
Slam.
yeah. So Fenrir heads into the wagon, slams that door shut.
Don't worry, it was cheap.
Sorry.
Children these days.
Eventually, as you begin to settle down and catch the last hour or so of sleep that you can before the twin moons disappear and the burning sun sends its rays to the world.
I just imagine Rick and Morty. It's just like,
The two screaming sons.
Everything's on a carb!
Ah, beautiful memory.
Everything's on a carb.
Okay, it's either this or Tiny World, because Carb World is not an option.
Morning rays.
yeah.
You spit out, and one by one you awaken, feeling fully rested.
Can I reach for the rubber? Can I erase the bad numbers on my character?
Of course you can.
Yeah.
I'm magical again!
Norm's the only one who got like complete sleep. Eh?
I can be useful again!
I'm saying we all got complete sleep now anyway.
When you finally come to, Normand, you realise that your new little friend has already been awake. She's no longer in your beard.
Aww.
She.
The
Mm.
thing.
She.
You said
it.
she.
Shit.
I said
Remember
she, I said him, you know. I said many words.
I've said many words.
Very much on the fence at this point.
Eventually, you catch sight of it wandering towards you.
Right.
And
Stop it.
Come on, baby.
We awake as well now.
in its hands, it's holding some sheets of paper, some parchment.
We awake as well now, I guess.
Yes, that you all gradually becoming awake now.
I want to try
Kick
something.
the door on the wagon open. Morning. I won't kick it.
Kick the wagon over. Morning, buckos!
Kick that side of the wagon
Kick it
open.
into the suns!
I'll say to Vita, I'm going to check across to Viator and go, can you remember the ghost pretty well?
Yes, fairly.
Why don't we ask our little friend?
Oh, no. Yes, that might be a
Oh.
small idea.
Also, good morning. I also have a good idea. Oh, wow, my brain's not working right. Okay. I also have a good idea. Because now I've got my telepathies back. Because I used all of that from
Yeah, you
yesterday. Let's see if I can actually just straight up talk to this thing now.
I'll explain to Norm what we saw in the night as well.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Spooky!
So, if you can tell our little friend, if perhaps he knows anything, would be nice.
Oh, let's see if I can even talk.
Or even
to it
just
first.
talk. Whoever try.
I'm gonna try straight up telepathy. If it understands a single language at all, I can talk to it.
Okay, so you begin to use telepathy to try and speak with it, and in return, what you hear a really high pitched that gets returned back.
Or static.
bit like
Tune the radio right.
it's like when the frequency of a whistle is so loud that only certain
Just like white noise.
yeah.
Oh, that's not what I've done before.
Only dogs can hear it.
Only dogs can hear us.
Or Zunga. That's... Huh.
What did you hear?
Well, the telepathy is supposed to work if something can talk or can understand talk, but that's just like a
Oh.
like a really high pitch So I don't get what that's supposed to be. Maybe its brain's better than mine or something. I don't know.
Maybe they don't talk.
Maybe it doesn't talk.
Well, if it didn't talk, then the telepathy wouldn't work. But it did. But it's just...
I mean, they don't talk like how we talk, if you understand what I mean.
Or if it talks, then it works.
They communicate
That's the point.
some other way.
Yeah.
Maybe through...
I'm gonna go ahead and assume that it talks with pictures, so let's stop drawing some
pictures
stuff.
and memories.
See.
And let's stop wasting paper and just get
Yeah,
sticks
we'll
and
think of the
dra-
ghosts, basically.
As you begin to get the paper out, it wanders out and it begins to give the pictures it's already drawn.
Alright.
While you were sleeping, you assume, and it passes a picture it's drawn of you, Fenrir. There's this mighty looking paladin.
on a mountain.
The portrait. This is nice.
We got scraps of paper and Fenrir's got a life-size portrait with an ornate frame.
I mean, it's,
Oil
you know,
painting.
it looks like a child has drawn it, but it's your likeness.
You got a giant head and a tiny body.
Yeah, massive hammer. Like, oh,
And then
thank you so much, my little friend.
and then it passes you on Moschops. It's depicted you with a long pointy nose and sharp pointy teeth.
It looks just like you.
Oh wow, I can really see the likeness.
Thank you. And then it's just in the middle of drawing another final picture, just putting the last finishing touches, and then passes picture to Uziel.
Oh, thank you.
As you look at the very childlike drawing, you see it seems a little bit strange. Rather than what you expected of doodles of purple and blue that you wore, you depicted in a very blue, luminous white and yellow. The shape of you, but shrouded in this intense white glow.
Okay, that's something else.
Takes some real artistic work to draw glow with crayons, isn't it?
Thank you,
Old
my friend.
squiggles the cannon for nothing.
It begins to wander back. Looks a little bit happier.
Oh, what
Do you think this means he likes us?
I think
I
so.
assume so.
Yeah.
Shall we ask him about the ghosts?
Yeah. I heard you saying that word to Norm. So we're leaving. And I start packing everything up hastily.
Yes,
I don't think it'll be a problem after sun's up.
Would you guys like to continue this inside and I'll get us in the mood?
Well,
Yeah.
we can do that if you want.
There was a shout from the back of the wagon when I was chucking stuff in.
Yeah, okay. So the Sandstriders, they look a bit more haggard, needing some sort of nourishment.
If we got some water, we can give them.
We got some water we can
Give
give
them
them.
some water,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
suppose.
Yeah. So they considering the size of them, you do get through around about 5 or 6 bottles of the water that you have until they seem
alright, we're not
fairly
far from
satisfied. Where like the very long tongue that's hanging out, lapping up.
Okay. Yeah. I'll hook them up and
Okay.
get on me.
You gather your possessions and you get the wagon loaded, and then soon enough you'll begin to set on your way again. After a good 15 minutes or so, to the far west of your travelling called Jadizza, you see in the distance that you begin to catch up with other travellers. At first, they just seem to be peeping on the very distant horizon, and then very slowly, a little closer and a little closer. Eventually, the traffic of merchants and travellers grow, heading at last in the direction of the 2 huge pillars that stand as tall as 2 giants, pretty much in unison with each other. The traffic begins to pile up, as one by one, each of your wagons come to a stop. You see all kinds of people on these wagons. There's orcs, there's goblins, there's trolls, there's elves, there's dwarfs. They've all got a mass of, well, some have got furniture, some have got wares to sell. They look, travellers, merchants, just people from all over. Mm-hmm. And you assume that this line now is queuing to get into Jadizza.
Mm-hmm. I lift my goggles.
Hello.
Hello. Bad for my back this hour. Just to let you all know, we've hit the morning traffic.
We should have left early and beat her down.
Yeah, I thought we left early enough. Turns out I was wrong. Yes, how's our small friend doing?
I'm alright, thanks.
Smaller.
The pure white one I was thinking more of was, but...
He seems pretty happy, or she, or whatever they are.
Okay, well, just try and keep her fairly entertained. I assume she teleports around when she's bored.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll keep them drawing.
Yeah. And then I'm just going to shut the door and then I'll just keep going. But
Okay.
Can I have a look around at the other wagons?
Yeah.
And see if, I know this is a bit mattery. I know, when they had Wild West and stuff, they had, almost holders on the back where, food was tied up for, the horse stock and stuff in, nets. Is that a common thing? Can I see, nets for, horses and sand stripes and stuff like that? 19?
So you can't see necessarily any nets, but what you do see is on the back of some of these wagons you can see large barrels that seem to have the lid slightly off. That you commonly know that in Viveska, because there is a lot more violence and uncertainty out on the road than other areas of Dahoon, that people keep horse feed, etc., and potentially usually in barrels at the back of wagons, just so it's out of view.
Okay. So I assume that that's what we'll have to do for the sand striders, and then.
As you're stationary at this point in this long line of caravans, one of the merchants up front with a very low-ended canvas, it slightly bends to one side, just dips. As the driver shifts to glance back at you, it looks like a very jolly man, medium build, with a very long, elegant moustache and black swept-back hair, dressed in this red tunic and very pink baggy breeches. And he calls out, "It's going to be a wait by the looks of it."
Yes. And in my head, I'm like, "Oh God, Stalker."
Get off the road.
Did you travel far?
Yes. From a small bordering town. We bought a wagon there. As you can see, I'm quite new to this. Because I'm guessing they're dead. Momentum is just dragging them along with the car. Yes. Have you travelled far?
I have travelled all the way from Twin Elms.
I cast my mind back to the map.
Get the road map out.
Yeah.
First.
So I'm guessing Twin Elms is this direction? No, it's Little Mead. Which direction is Twin Elms in? Got tall trees. Is this on this map, Twin Elms?
Right, so you've not necessarily heard of Twin Elms before.
Oh.
Very far.
Can't. I must admit, don't know the place.
Yes, some people do not know that name. Tall trees.
Tall trees. Yes, if you called it the right name, I probably would understand. Saying to myself. Talltrees. Oh yes, that's quite a distance you've travelled actually. So, and what's pulling his wagon?
You,
Can I not see it?
well, the wagon's quite large, but what's pulling it, you can't quite see unless you actually physically got out of the wagon and had to shift around.
Okay. Can I ask you, have you had much dealings with Sandstriders?
I have used them sometimes, yes.
Is there a place where I could replenish? Is probably the wrong word, but stable them?
Yes, in the Jadizza. Before you head into the city, there is a stable. So this really is your first time here.
Yes. Yeah. Sort of out of my neck of the woods, as it were.
You will love it here. You if you want to head to the trade plateau, the food and the market exquisite.
Trade plateau.
Just quite a big
Food.
town
Exquisite.
Need to see.
to see. Okay.
Yes.
I cannot have another ranger addicted to Canada.
From
How far is it to wherever it is we're queuing up for? Just outside
from
Jadizza.
the line.
Yeah.
It looks. It's not too bad. You look maybe like 10 minutes or so, or waiting,
sorry.
you think, to finally get to the actual proper gates.
It's going to be like hours.
You can see, you glancing up from your wagon, you can see there's a long line of other merchants and travellers trying to gain passage into this great city at the moment. The city guards are posted at either end of the entrance and exit, and they seem to be keeping quite a close watch.
Okay.
You hear a thunderous grind of metal then that howls over top of the wagon. And as you glance up, you just see the huge hull of one of the fabled airships flying overhead. Just disappears beyond the huge walls of the city. And you can notice the thrum of busy airships. And then another that heads into the high ports. So from what you can see, you see that from a distance that it looks like Jadizza is made up of a collection of floating plateaus.
Are they interconnected?
So you see cables that seem to be connected to each plateau.
How do we not notice those on the way over here?
So they've only just come into view as you've got closer to this line.
Okay. I might knock on our hatch again.
Hello.
Ahoy, hoy.
What do you want to do?
Is anyone more familiar with travel talk than I? Like with entrance in and out of a city, and sort of a novice at this, as it were.
Yeah, I've been a few cities.
Would
I
you
seem to have a
Kind
knack
of from a
talking
sea.
myself into and out of things.
Oh, well, you're both more than welcome to join me. I was going to say, would you like to come up here? Because I want to make sure I don't make a bit of a blunder.
Fine. I'll get out the back and climb up onto the front wall.
Yeah, I'll go with Zeal.
I'm assuming this deed is something I'd have to have on my person from we go in to prove that the wagon's ours.
Have you
And
not
that's
made it?
what the salesman told you, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. I'll Fenrir will go up front with Zeal.
Yeah,
as
we'll
well.
sit on top with it for him.
Yeah.
Well, that's a big old queue, isn't it?
Yes, 'tis rather.
Did I hear you chatting? Have you made a friend?
He's one of your people. A talker.
Oh. So you don't get many people from that far north down here. But
No, but I think he'd probably be a rather interesting person to have a conversation with.
it certainly kept you hooked.
Yes. As
Okay.
As I push you off the bench.
Yeah.
You, as you're chatting, you glance out of the little slidey hole, and you can see there's a long stretch of road that leads to the city, and you can see caravans loading up goods as they are ushered on their way by the city guard. It's not too far away now. Even you can see that from the back of the wagon. Travellers on foot ahead seem to be heading into the city one by one. The hustle and bustle itself seems far grander than anything you've witnessed this far south in Maveshki before. This seems to be the first taste of a real city you're about to encounter.
Alright.
You have a quick scan around and see that most folks range from human as the majority of the populace. You spot some more dwarves, an elf. You see a Lacaean, the lizard folk of the south, as they're called. And you spot the, surprisingly, an occasional minotaur and the obvious huge, bulky stature of a Tapux, carrying a very long pole with possessions tied in a heavy sheet at their end.
Cool.
That's a taper person.
The people who aren't psychic.
Glancing back around in the wagon with your compatriots, you suddenly see that your little creature friend isn't there.
No!
Excellent.
Hello, still holding it.
You realise you got moss instead. You're not the right one.
Oh, Squiggles!
Say, no, this is bloody lovely.
Oh, okay.
I just like. What's happening?
I lost him. I can't.
You what?
Are they up?
I look back through them
It's
again.
really hard to lose something that can move through space and time like it's nothing.
Did you check upstairs?
We have it upstairs.
The picture I've sent you is a description of a wagon.
Hold on, let me check my magic device.
Magical tablet. What do you see?
Of what we've described.
Fenrir.
Not used to this magic device yet. I've only had it for a couple of
Can I jump off the wagon and have a little walk up through the line?
Yeah.
Just have a little scout.
Good idea.
Are you both doing that?
Yeah.
I'm
Either
gonna-
side, yeah, we'll go.
Yeah, I'll get out.
Okay.
Okay, I'll check upstairs.
Try and make it not look too obvious that we're looking for something.
Yeah, we're
just kind of going for a stroll.
Stretching our legs. It's been a long time.
Give me a performance test as well.
Yeah.
Performance.
Try and blend
We
in.
can do that.
Chondering along.
Yes, he's
It's good. La, 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 la,
So
la.
you head upstairs and
Squiggles,
give
come to Papa.
me a perception roll.
Performance, I've got 19, so I'm really good at just chondering along like I'm
Yeah, woo!
having a nice
I
walk.
got like 10.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, you kind
an
of
average
pull it
walk.
off that you're just kind of casually just outstretching, just going for a walk.
I'll just occasionally just nod my head every now and turn my hat to like
7.
people.
7.
Yeah.
Can you glance? You literally like
I check
you
at
get
the
you get
wall
up.
pillow.
You literally get up into the top floor, just put your head around and go no, put that down. Two of you outside. If you can give me a quick perception roll, as you're looking for your little friend.
23. Very nice.
Whoa!
Whoa! 22.
Oh, there you go.
Nat 20.
Very nice.
I'm seeing everything!
Okay, so you're almost like unison. Both of your eyes lock on to your little friend, and you see it just underneath one of the other caravans, almost like it's about to wander out into the road, and it looks like it's just reaching for this open sack underneath the caravan. And you glance and you realise that what's in the open sack is a long scale tails, like a cluster and a heap of what you can imagine is a fish. It's a type of cave fish which is called Ferron's tail, and it's just a cluster and it just seems to be reaching.
So he's hungry.
Okay. Can I get one of my rations out me
I'll
there?
try to get.
Yeah, and just kind of go over to him and kind of offer that as I try and discreetly just kind of put him.
I'll try and cause a bit of a distraction by like talking to some of the people in the wagon up above.
Hey, buddy.
Okay. Yeah, no, you manage to
this.
then begin to chit chat to one of the other merchants, and they have a casual chat to you.
Be like, morning. Pretty busy this morning.
there. Morning.
Morning. Pretty busy, isn't it? today?
Oh,
Here, this
absolutely
guy's from
busy.
Devon. Here. It's the
And
local cider.
As you
transport.
pull your rations out, your little friend looks at the rations. You
And
can
then
start
just
wander
kind of
over.
invite him under my arm. Come on.
Get in the bag.
Yeah.
Got very sinister. Very quick.
Get back.
It wanders over to your arms and comes up and
Hello,
takes the
buddy.
little rations and begins to just nibble on the rations.
I'm just gonna put
You
him
kind of assume that it
Okay.
got quite hungry and it's been something quite young.
Okay. I need to keep him fed. So just put him in a little bag with the rations
Okay, then manage to wrap your cloak around it and just hide it enough from view of anyone.
Just
And wander
nice
back.
and easy, nice and cool.
Yeah.
What back to the wagon?
Wander back to the wagon.
Just hear it nice.
Okay.
Are we progressing in the queue?
Yeah, so the queue is slowly moving
Slowly
forward.
progressing, okay.
Yeah, I'll just point out, oh, looks like we're moving again. I better get back to my wagon.
I'll give you a nod.
Oh, good day to you. Have fun there.
Oh, well.
So, yeah, I'll just keep the wagon moving. And then I'm guessing I'm seeing these two...
Walking back.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, you see them begin to walk back.
I won't find the baby.
So I guess I'll get back in.
Yeah, we'll
To the
just
wagon.
jump up on, sit down,
Yeah.
Mm.
I'll
get
get
in the
in.
back, yeah.
Look what I found.
I'll just say to Vigil, we're good.
Okay. I think it's quite important that we keep him fed. He seems to be quite hungry, and that seems to be the reason that he's leaving. So maybe at least once an hour or something, just give him an apple.
Alright.
You know, and that might stop him from
We had
disappearing.
rations for cooking breakfast, didn't we?
Yeah, but no one made any breakfast.
No, we didn't.
Oh yeah, we should probably fucking eat shit.
Captain Morpheus?
I forgot we had to loudly announce to the world that we need to eat every meal.
So then I'm just like, do one of you fellows want to get breakfast on?
Oh yeah, I'll do it.
Seeing as we have an oven in the side.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
I'll start getting the pots and pans.
So you begin to go pots and pans and begin to like.
Can you reach?
Get some tea on as well while you're at it, will you?
Yeah, don't worry, I'll do the whole lot. I've got a stool by the stove I'm standing
Yeah,
on.
just a little.
There's a little
wooden stool.
apron on.
Yeah.
Little chef's hat.
Face.
The little hat's just appeared out of nowhere.
Got my illusion one onto your head.
dagger
It just stays in place as you move around.
Start cutting onions.
Start cutting onions.
Also, got bits of cobalt on it.
Yeah, ew.
As you begin to make the breakfast, over time, and as you get closer to having that breakfast ready for them to eat, the line begins to lessen, and bit by bit, you reach the great portcullis of Jadizza. As you approach, one of the posted guards heads towards your caravan. Then he seems to be wearing a red tabard that covers his plate and mail armour. A pointed helm that covers his eyes and nose, only visible facially from the mouth down. Hail, travellers! I press you met no danger on your way to our prosperous city this day. Sorry for the hold-up. We are especially busy today. The Festival of the Sun is starting in the next few days, and as you can imagine, everyone is flocking here.
It would certainly seem like it, that's for sure.
We have this every Festival of the Sun. We have hundreds of people from all over heading to our grand city.
Well, yeah, we're here now, that's the main thing. And
What did he say? Festival of the Fun?
I thought it was Bob.
He said everyone's fucking here.
Oh,
Shut the door. Shut the door.
I see you have more compatriots inside.
Yes, breakfast is on at the minute.
can we get you anything?
Can we give you a tea for the road?
I get it.
The hatch opens and a bacon butty.
Yes, I will take that. Yes, they're very, very kind and gracious.
Straight out of my hand.
No problem.
Like,
On three?
might be another one on that one, if I'm honest, kid. And then just like slide the food. You know, one of those 70s food actually. Shut it with my elbow. I'm like, yes, we have some compatriots in the back. Some are still asleep, and some, obviously, making breakfast. Are you the gentleman I need to show this to?
Oh, the papers. Yes. Sure, by all means. Let me check them and just make sure it belongs to you.
And
He takes the papers and looks at the deeds. Yes, great. This all seems in order, so you are welcome to go through. So I must ask, though, what is the nature of your business in Jadizza?
we're just a travelling group of adventurers, and we came into a bit of wealth, bought the wagon, and are just travelling through, really.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any jobs or anything that needs going in this place, we'd be
Some good
happy
work.
to get some work if it's possible.
Good work. Yes, well. if you head to the Trey Plateau, that's where most places go. At the moment, you won't be able to get to the slums. We have a problem with our cable cuts. It's cutting everyone off from the slums themselves at the moment, but I would aim for the Trey Plateau. There's plenty of taverns there. You'll hear that plenty of work. And personally, I'd recommend the Weary Traveller. It's a nice place for first-time visitors to Jadizza.
Sounds fantastic. Is there a stables nearby as well?
Yes.
As you can see, the old Sandstrides, I just give them a order. They're a bit tired after a long journey.
Yes. You will see them as you come to these gates. There's a courtyard before you get to the lifts themselves. There you can replenish and put your mounts into stables where necessary. We do have a fuel seal. Though we let you keep your weapons, if any weapons are drawn and used, you will be thrown yourselves.
Oh, that's fair enough. It's standard for most cities.
Yes.
We'll keep ourselves
So remember, any problems you have with anyone inside should be handled with fist, not weapon.
No, if there's any trouble, we'll come and find the city guard. Inform you of any issues that we come across, that's for sure.
We do have another customer here. He holds out his hand then. If you can give me your wrist one moment. Just one of you will do.
I'm guessing he's in my side?
Yeah, at the moment he's just he brings out a runic-looking stone then from a leather strap hanging around his neck, and he just seems to wave it over your wrist. As you see, a little blue symbol just seems to flicker and glint before fading away. All are welcome free passage into the city, but upon leaving, we ask each person to pay a toll of 2 gold. This rune itself will, once you pay, we remove the rune. This is how we can find out who has not paid.
Oh, fair enough.
It's 2 gold per wagon. This helps us with upkeep and maintenance of our city. You pay at the gates of the toll house on your way back out, or at the Airy Dawn port if you're going by airship.
That sounds all good to us. Very well.
Just how we managed to keep our city so well looked after from all these travellers, especially during the Festival of the Sun.
Oh, I imagine you get all kinds of types of people coming through here.
Many types.
Ask him what the Festival of the Sun is. He really likes mentioning it.
Yes, have you got a pamphlet?
A pamphlet of the Festival of the Sun. Now that's a very noble idea. One I will pass on to the Dungeon Master.
I mean, I would imagine there's all kinds of events going on to celebrate such a thing.
Over the next few days, Festival of the Sun is our worship of our twin sons that we are so blessed here to have in Vuveska.
Well, it just so happens that's the name of our Sandstriders here as well.
Yes, the Sandstriders are named after us.
We must have known.
Well, what is that a coincidence? You will be most welcome in this city by all then, I'm sure. We have floats and carnivals, we have activities and games. During the Festival of the Sun, we have many merchants and markets as well. Again, you can find all of that in the trade platform.
That sounds good to us. We definitely need to stock up on a few items.
I assume you've never been here. You seem to be asking many questions. So, in here, what you hear now is the Twin Pillars. This is the grand entrance to Jadizza. If you look straight forward, and there you can see all these floating plateaus. They're huge monstrosities. They float how, you have no idea. But on top of these various plateaus, there is structures, cities, towns, whole districts. He points to one and says, over here is the Blades Plateau. This is the district for a warrior kind, the warrior caste. And we have blacksmiths, armorsmiths.
Blacksmiths, did you say? I happen to be in need of one of them.
We do have blacksmiths, yes, there's many good blacksmiths. You will find plenty there. This one over here, is the Faith Plateau. And this is our religious caste, where all of our temples are. And this is also where the water is kept, that we distribute to all of Jadizzans. Over here, this is the Trades Plateau. Market, festival, everything fantastical goes on the Trades Plateau. Over here, this is the Scholars Plateau. We have, over there you'll find magic, cartographers. This is our arcane caste. Up there, far in the high skies, you can see the Gardens Plateau. This is our botanical gardens, where we try to grow many vegetations to help humidify and feed our people. We like to be self-sufficient where we can. Though we do have ties to other towns locally that do have to give us tribute. But we do try to be self-sufficient.
Oh yeah, we happened to pass through one of those towns on the way. Odeska, you know the one?
Odeska. Yes, the ever-flowing well. Very lucky.
Well, it
to
wasn't
have
so
that
overflowing when we went there, but don't worry, we sorted that problem out.
Then they may well have good use of your services inside of Jadizza. And that other floating plateau, that is the Airy Dawn Plateau. That is the docks, the skyports. And down beneath the entranceway is the dregs, or the slums.
Okay. So that
They
looking
are
at
pretty
that-
much an independent people.
Okay. Okay, so there's this one. Well, thank you very much. As you can see, I think our riders could do with a little rest. So we will be pushing on, but thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed your sandwich.
Exquisite, my compliments to the chef.
We won't keep the
You can carry on munching on the baking sandwich.
Is it fairly obvious where I take the sandwich?
Yeah, so after you bid the god farewell and you pull on the reins and the sandstriders begin to press forward then. You pass the large twin pillars of the city and you finally set foot inside the actual gates at long last. You get a sudden scent of dried sand, heat rising from the shantytown roofs of the outer edges of Jadizza. You can hear a mix of shouting voices in all manner of dialects and barking dogs off in the distant streets. This part of the city seems a very shantytown-like of sorts, open to the elements, the sun being down and stretching far along a straight road that leads deeper into the city itself. Glancing up, you see various buildings flanking the street, and as you begin to traverse down the path, you take note of the various people trying to sell wares. And as you begin to carry on further and further, you see some people who are selling these wares, potentially without a license. You see city guard beginning to head their way. You hear mumblings from the guards as they move them. And then they tell them to move further and shout. You can hear a very slight mumble from one of the guards. You know that this trade can only be conducted in the trade plateau. Move, move! And they shun away some of these various beggar sellers. You get the sense that here in Jadizza there seems to be a law of some kind that's upheld. And there is a sense of relief. But it's also a bit of a change to the wildlands you've travelled across so far. It's almost like a law to the lawless here, so to speak.
Okay.
As you pull your wagon up in this sort of shantytown area, you see a little short halfling with a robe pulled over his head begins to limp up to you. Yeah, a red hair just spills over his dirty-looking face. Hey ho, travellers! First time in Jadizza, eh? You'll need to leave your caravan and striders here. I can take them to my stable over yonder there. The stables, they look like a fairly derelict building, but you do spot other caravans and wagons already hitched. The main stables look as though they are prepared for animals. A line of horses, sandstriders, and other mounts are happily munching and feed. I'm Jahula. I'm one of the stable masters here. leave them with me. They'll be safe. They only charge 2 gold per night. That price includes security, animal feed, and my time. I'll even give you a caravan a washdown too, with this handy sponge. And you can pay 2 gold up front now, and then after that I'll hold on to it until you come back, and you can pay any additional nights once you're ready to leave. So you
Splendid. Sorry, you took me a little off guard. It was rather fast. So, can we return to the caravan at any point, or is it simply a case of you hold on to it and then we get given it back?
Oh, no, you can return to the stable whenever you want.
Splendid. Where would you like me to
Park.
in essence, park?
You can just park it over here. And he begins to point over to, it looks like an opening of the actual stables themselves. You glance around and you do spot a few more stables in the vicinity that look a bit more well preserved. There's a stable master that's more elegantly dressed in a blue suit and grey hair that pulled up into an immaculate top knot, very human-like in appearance. But as he sees the little halfling, he sort of just seems very disinterested.
See,
I like that this guy has no
I was
questions.
going to say, I'm a big fan of someone that's dirty because it makes them.
Authentic.
I'm like, you've done some great.
Yeah, authentic.
Yeah.
And he's not asked any questions.
No. He knows.
He knows. We're
He
trusting.
knows. Yeah. So I'm keen with the redheaded chap this morning. I'm like, fair enough.
He seems honest enough.
His name's Jahula.
Oh yeah, Jahula. Jahula.
Yeah. So pull up into the opening, and then
You start your wagon,
yeah.
and then Jahula begins to wander around and begins to untether your sandstriders.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get these all fed and watered and look a little bit malnourished.
Yes. Small issue with that. Didn't quite plan on coming this far.
You were prepared for your journey, I see. Yeah, let me get these in and get them all tethered up, and I'll be right back, and we'll settle up, and you can go off into the city itself.
I'm going to now look at our budget.
Jahula wanders off with the sandstriders, one by one. Even though he's quite a short stature of a man, he does actually manage to pull them by the reins, and he looks
I'll
quite
just say to
confident.
Vito.
Knows what he's doing.
Well, it looks like he doesn't know what he's doing. How are we looking for fundage? Because, I mean, we're going to...
At the minute...
Are you looking good?
At the minute, we have nearly 300 gold left. So
Well, that takes care of the stabling. It's
And
more
we-
stabling ourselves in
and we got
the...
46 silver.
Yeah.
So out of our original 783.
Well,
We've got a hint weight.
Yes. Which is why I asked if we could stay in it.
Yeah,
Save
that's
a
good
bit of
point.
money.
Yeah, save some money.
well
Yeah.
there's no harm in asking about seeing how much these taverns are.
No, well, information is always warranted. Just
So,
we have a very small friend to look after.
yeah, it's probably best that we get somewhere that's secure.
Do
Where
I
is
see?
it?
Do I see a large, small red?
He's hanging out with Fenrir.
Yeah, eventually you see him with his same hooded road halfling heading back. He's like, right, yeah, I got your sandstriders all locked in. Yeah, it should be good. Kind of munching on some fruit, so I'd really recommend getting some sandstrider feed from the trade plateau.
Yes, if I could get recommendations for that, that would be wonderful. So is it just feed that they're after?
You just need general feed, yeah.
Well, if we were to buy the feed and then get them to ship it to you, could you put it in our caravan then?
Yeah, you just tell him it's down Jahula, and he wanders around the back of your wagon and looking for a nameplate. Jackson V. Yeah, you tell them to hand it to the Jackson V.
Right, yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yes, we'll do.
Pay the man, Viator.
Yes. So I go into the kitty.
Opens his little purse.
Luckily, we've got an accountant.
And I give 2 gold. It was
Okay.
wasn't it?
Yeah, Jahula takes it. Thanks very much. He sort of bites one of the coins. Yeah, that's 2 gold. Puts it into his little pouch of gold he's got just hidden away in his robe.
Okay, that's fine.
We're not exactly sure how long we'll be staying in the city, so we might see you soon or maybe a little bit later.
No problem. I'll be here most of the time.
I mean,
As I say, I look after all the animals and beasts and wagons that we've got housed here, so I'm not going off anytime soon.
ideal. I mean, if worst comes to worst, can we get a message to you that we might need to be prepped, ready to go?
If you can get a message to me, then sure.
Oh, grand. It's very good. Thank you, lot.
Yes. So, where the caravan's position now, is it staying?
So so it looks like it's kind of been
It's sort of
been
like-
placed into under the shelter of the actual
like an
stable.
awning,
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to dismount and go inside.
Okay.
Because I guess you guys are inside.
Yep.
And
You
Well,
told
I'm
the
trying to-
delicious bacon
I'll let
buddies.
you
Hell yeah.
chat away. I come inside and I explain to everyone, Jadizza is going to look after the caravan and the striders. We're probably better off going to the trade plateau, getting all the supplies we need. So, how's our small friend doing anyway?
Yeah, he's okay. I've given him half of my bacon buddy.
Just gonna
It's
finish
got a
it off.
taste for meat.
So, as a party, do we want to go and get supplies, or
Do we want to take Squiggles
with us?
into Jadizza?
I
Well,
think probably not.
Probably not.
well, then someone's gonna have to stay behind and look after him, and then when he inevitably just teleports away again,
Go find
chase
him.
after him for shenanigans across the city.
Is
Yeah, we probably shouldn't split up.
no. I was going to say we've got robes and cloths and stuff in there, haven't we?
And you want to give him a disguise.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Is there sounds strange, something quite light as a robe, because I don't want to. Oh,
Take my linens. Cut
You've
them up.
got so the robes that you've got, you would be able to. You
Like
feel like
papoose.
you would be able to potentially cut away some of the robe, and make enough of a kind of little mini robe for him, just a makeshift one.
Take my blanket.
Itchy.
Shall I take him?
Well, it makes
Probably
sense,
most likely to be able to.
I
put away.
get it looking as
Baby.
small, in essence, infantile as I can.
Okay.
Without, being desperately cute, so people aren't
Let's have a look at your baby.
yeah.
I mean, we're literally 5 men and a baby. That's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, so do that, and then I'm going to have a quick whip round inside and just see what half-used provisions and stuff we have.
We're going to need to take some food.
We said it was about 10 gold to restock everything, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm going to carry the money on me. I might split the money up between everyone. I'll just split the money up fairly evenly between everyone.
One gold each in the rest of you.
Just through the case of if something does happen, I don't know if pickpockets are a thing.
we got 262.
Oh, we got
Yeah.
262.
It's 5.
We're in
So
the
we've got
city.
about 50 quid each.
Yeah, so we've got about 50 quid each.
Okay.
Alright?
I'll just have
50.
50.
50
so
quid,
I
50
know how to
golds.
use mine.
50. Okay, gold.
Yeah. So
So
I'll hold
I
on to the
add that
silver,
to
but I'll split the gold between all of us. We'll say try and split the silver over whatever. Then,
Rich.
we'll go out because that way we can get everything we need.
Can I stuff my pockets full of
Snacks.
apples and snacks and
Yeah.
bits of rations and bits of bread, just so every so often I can be
Yeah.
Feed the baby.
yeah.
Feed the baby.
He eats bacon sandwiches, I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah. Give J Hola the nod.
We'll be off now.
Yeah, I'm gonna lock the door.
Okay.
Because I'm guessing he ain't gonna need to go inside because he said wash the outside. He didn't say lock yet.
Yeah, it's true.
So I lock the door.
Yeah, he doesn't valet it as well.
No.
Valet.
Put the key in the pocket in the waistcoat, so it isn't easy to get hold of. And then head out, I suppose. Is it fairly obvious? Because he pointed to the trade plateau. Is it fairly obvious that there is a cable car going up?
Yeah. So you can see what looks like further down the street, you can see it looks like it comes to like the edge of a ravine. It just dips down below, but you see these huge plateaus straight from that ravine floating, so you assume it's just going to be down that direction.
Okay.
Well, yeah, just head that way.
Okay. He sort of called, like Jehudo calls out, "Yeah, you enjoy yourself. It's going to be an experience."
I'm sure it will.
More than you know.
Good boy, small man.
Do the classic. It's like, enjoy yourselves. I'm like, you do. Oh god. Oh god. Yeah.
You'll need to head deeper down the streets, and like hand in hand with your little acquaintance who's just looks like a little child. Oh, you're both
he's like
still hooked up.
Yeah.
Yep, just hooked up, and you're keeping a good eye on it. And it seems to be it's looking around like those big wide black eyes, just taking in everything and all the sights. And eventually you come to the edge of a ravine, and you can see that it dips down deep below. But before you lies several huge plateaus seemingly floating in midair, each housing huge vast buildings and structures. Directly in front of you stands a large mechanical-looking monstrosity. There's oil seeping into the dusty grounds beneath this contraption, turbines and cogs spinning and wheezing relentlessly as large industrial steel cables stretch to the length of several of the floating plateaus. 2 such cables stretch down below to a cluster of shanty roofs and desolate-looking streets. But you see, notice there's like a little sign that's currently on those ones that just seems to be out of order. There's a hunched man with a greying hair and a wispy beard wearing a mishmash of old tunics and baggy breeches and a salmon tabard that stands at the entrance of the strange pulley contraption. He seems to be spending most of his time dashing from left to right, pulling and yanking at levers that are set to one side as people step onto these large, strange contraptions. And then as soon as he pulls the lever, you see it begins to lift and begins to head off into one of the plateaus. His hands are very oily and his brow is very sweaty, but you don't seem to hear him complaining as you get closer. You hear the grating of metal then as a huge cable cart grinds into place, resting from its previous trip up to the plateaus above. You look far up and shield your eyes from the bright rays of the sun. The plateau themselves, they're all cradled by a circular wall, large opals that just look like sparkling in the daylight sun. Part of the blinding light that seems to bounce off from them is what's causing you to strain looking that far up. You kind of get the impression that the strange circular wall, it looks like it potentially might extend or like almost shield. Oh, cool. Because you know there's some intense dust storms out here, you assume this is some kind of preventative.
Okay.
Cool.
You see a sign there that depicts the direction in which you can traverse. It seems that there's 3 cable tracks on offer. There's a haphazardly painted arrow that points below, so into the dregs, but also says out of order.
Yeah.
And 2 bright golden elaborate arrows that point left and right. To the left reads the trades, and to the right it reads the airy dawn.
Well, who agrees?
To
the trades.
the trades, because the trades is both where,
Preference centers.
trades is where all the market stalls are and the tavern. So
Sounds like our best bet.
yes,
We can go restock, get a bit of a chat around the place, see how everything's going.
to the trades, please.
To the trades! Right. Step inside!
Oh, good. We get to go into the definitely safe-looking box. It get dangled in the air and nothing bad's ever going
At least this is attached to some kind of rope.
Glad I learnt that spell that let me fall safely.
Stepping into the cart, you can hear the grime beneath your feet as it rocks to life. You feel unstable, but shake off the notion, deciding this is how most folk make their way to the plateaus above and below. The lever is pulled as the cart rocks to life, cogs grating in each other as your cart begins to rise high into the skies above. You look out of the large windows and you can see 7 plateaus in the sky in total, each housing the various districts, huge towers spiraling up into the clouds, terraced homes built of grand white stone and large blimps overhead, floating on each of the sky islands. You see water spills from holes scattered across the length of them, collecting into large dams, offering clean, safe water to the residents of Jadizza. Each of these blimps seem to have a different crest, a symbol or a phrase sprawled across them. One such crest depicts a water elemental, adorned with a crown, water flowing from each of its outstretched arms. The letters beneath this image states, "This water is proudly brought to you by our friends at the Water Guild."
That's not so bad.
Hundreds of birds dot the horizon, darting in and out of the various higher arches of the towers. You continue to ascend higher and higher as the cable cart becomes dark and overshadowed by a huge plateau you're approaching. It begins to continue to rock as it lifts. You glance out, heading closer to the city. Eventually, you feel it connect to the pulley system. As it locks into place, the doors spill open as you're met with a loud abundance of voices from all different kinds of languages. The streets are filled with colourful characters as you leave the confines of the cable car. You've arrived in the trade plateau. An intense smell of jasmine and saffron immediately permeates your senses, causing your stomachs to growl. Tobacco shifts down the streets, and incense and sandstratus dung. I always struggle now that word.
But you did it. That's what.
Welcome to Devon.
The houses here all lead into one another, creating an arch feel to the long streets, each littered with trading posts and market stalls and selling many exotic items as you pass. You see ostrich feathers, crushed pearl powder, sizzling beef seasoned with spices and glittering weapons of exquisite craftsmanship. You step through this immense throng of people, then shouldering and barging past, narrowly dodging the large exterior of a Tapux, who heads past you all. Heavy leather bags swing from his shoulders, huge rings pierce through his nose in some sort of tribal wear. Then he kind of gives you a little glance and continues to strut through the big large throng of people. Heading deeper through the abundance of market stalls, you're kind of caught by the various colours, the smells, the senses, the people, and you step down another twisting street. You catch sight of a plaque then that has the name of the trade quarter emblazoned on it. The buildings here seem to overhang on one another and form more of a shield from the sun. You seem to get a bit more shade. Shadows are cast onto the stalls and the various alleyways that sprawl away from the main street. In the centre of the trade quarter, you spot a large ornate golden statue of a hand, palm upright, clasping gold, jewels and trinkets, and sitting atop the various recesses of the hand are a group of young children, scanning all the market folk as one of them kicks a leather ball across the street. As the ball bounces off a market stall, a medium-built man with wispy hair, he runs from behind his lavishly displayed fresh fruits to shoo the children away. Go, 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 go! In that instant, you spot one of the other children rush behind the market stall and begins to throw apples to their kin. The shopkeeper catches on and he begins to try and run after them. But you see the children beginning to scamper off and he throws his hands up. You rob me every day!
True Robin too.
You eventually see these children just vanish through the throngs of the people then. And as you see more obscenities that are thrown from the shopkeeper, he quickly heads back to his store, reluctantly moving back into place, and begins to pick up the apples that fall into the floor in the commotion one by one. Goddamn kids. You continue following the long lines of the market stalls further through the streets. Your eyes are scanning various goods on offer, and you see one store where a crowd has gathered and a large ogre is crushing open large walnut-looking shells before exposing a watermelon-type fruit hidden inside. One of the onlookers points to the two shells at as the ogre takes both in one hand before giving it an almighty squeeze. A loud snap. Then that same green-spotted skin is exposed and the crowd applauds. Before you see gold exchanged with fruit as the salesman begins to just constantly take this fruit. Those of you that have been in Vivescia, you know that this type of fruit is called a Hybericus. It tastes like a refreshing watermelon, but it's got a very, very strawberry flavour to it.
Ooh, that's delicious.
You continue through the throng of people then, glancing left and right. And you see a few things that catch your sight. It seems like there's a food stall that's sizzling and cooking with various dishes.
Can I just go into my pocket, get a bit of ration, give it to my little matey boy before he gets any ideas?
You see these little hands just clutch out the little rations.
Just give him a little pat on the head. You stay close now.
You pass another cart which seems to be full of old tomes, just very, very old tomes. And as you pass, you hear a voice begin to call out and say, "You may ask yourself, are books really as boring as they were when you were in school? Oh, nay, my friend. Books, ancient archaic books like these, are filled with adventure, magic, danger, dark desires, and text. Lots of text. More words than you could make a breakfast out of. If you look between the lines of a good book, surprise, surprise, they all have a seedy past. Like this one here, Maladizza's Tome of Luxurious Vegetable Growing. 17 virgins were sacrificed in order for Maladizza to understand the properties of potently encouraging expedited growth of his more exotic vegetables. He wasn't called the Bleeder of Green Fingers for nothing, I have you know. Ha 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 ha. And you see all these other people like listening to the story like, oh.
What the hell's going on?
Amazing.
You begin to continue further and further in through the market, and eventually you break out of a long stretch of market stalls and you slip into a narrow tunnel, bringing you underneath the overhanging shabby structures. There's a man in heavy robes, hood over his head, just seems to be sat on the floor against one side of the tunnel, old wooden shield upturned to collect coins. There's a little note that's been hand-scrawled on a sheet of parchment next to him that reads, "Money for a survivor of the war of attrition. Will work for money."
I'll flick a couple of coppers in his thing.
Okay. As you flick a few coppers, you see the robed figure just slumps forward and just collapses in a bunch of rags and bones. You see it as you see sand spilling on the floor as passers-by just seem to continue to walk by as if this is nothing. They just don't even bat an eyelid.
Oh, skeleton, what the fuck?
Guessing no one ever gave him any money.
Yeah.
Can I have a look at the shield and bits?
Yeah. You look at the shield. It looks like a very old metal structured shield. It does look like it may well have really come from the war of attrition, very long ago. And for what's left of the bones and the robes, you can make out that it looks like potentially there was a leg missing. Whoever it was fought, but people don't seem to care. They continue to walk.
I'll try and sort of give him a little blessing and go, I hope you find some peace.
As you're doing a quick blessing, you see one of the city guards walks by then and goes, thank you. We have many of these ex-soldiers we find from time to time. They were usually injured during the war. And when the sandstorms come, if they're unlucky, they get dustworm. Tiny little worms that are carried by the dust clouds. It eats them from the inside out. It's not a death worth for anyone.
Good thing we got those goggles.
That is why people stay clear.
Right. Yeah, that's a whole thing.
So deadly, so deadly, so deadly.
Oh, okay, that's great to know. How many sandstorms were we caught in on the walk here?
Yes.
Check my beard.
Check my beard.
Quite disturbing, to
Check my
say the
beard.
least.
It's alright for you. You've had a bat.
Bet you guys wish you had that.
Mm-hmm.
Would you mind if I took that shield of his? I mean, it's not like he needs it, but I think I could put it to use for try and honour him a bit, maybe.
My friend, take it. No one else will. Well, if you don't take it, then someone else will.
That's what I figured. Much obliged. Again, I point down to the pilot going, I don't know who you are, friend, but hopefully this will make a difference one day.
The guards continue walking. They don't clear up the mess, but they do continue walking and just head off on their patrol.
I'll leave the coppers out in.
Okay.
This place is like a real crowded city.
Yeah, I know.
Lots and lots of people.
It's literally shoulder to shoulder as you're going through throngs of various people.
In that case, the others might not notice this because I'm short and I'm in the middle of everyone and everyone's closer together, but Mostrops might have the beginnings of a panic attack happening. He's kind of
freaking out.
He's kind of looking around and he's thinking to himself, so many fucking people here. I thought I could handle this, but I don't know if I can. And he's kind of like, he just like holds onto like Zeal's coat as he's like walking through like this, and he starts to tremble.
You alright there?
Yeah, no, I think I'm going to be alright. I'm not used to it.
Oh yeah, I remember back in Little Nook you went a bit crazy from...
Yeah, and that was only Little Nook. Look at this place.
I know, it's massive, isn't it?
If you want a vantage point, Ross, my shoulders are free.
I think I might need to get up high and get a bit of air. That's right.
Come on up.
Thanks, mate. I'll clamber up.
Yeah, you look
Fenrir's
clamber up
shoulders.
Slip, around his shoulder.
You have now children.
I'm carrying everyone. Come on, boys. North?
Through all the stores that we've walked through, is there one that is selling the rations for the Sand Striders that I've seen?
The feed.
So, you haven't seen anything yet? You think maybe you need to go deeper and deeper? At the moment, it's all been like items, jewels, exquisite foods, exquisite goods, but nothing that seems to supply.
Fancy shit for tourists. That's what he says.
Yeah, we need to get through the tourist district.
Yeah.
You continue on then through the tunnel as it finally breaks out into a square with three further streets made up of buildings either side. When you spot one shop of interest, it's an old, narrow and shabby roofed abode with gold letters on black painted exterior wooden beams that reads Odon, Dodon, Redordon, one's extraordinaire since 410 AE.
What you say?
Cool.
Maybe I've become a wizard, Harry.
Big stuff.
One chooses the wizard.
What a convenience. Someone remind me to come back later when I figure out how money works.
Right, sure.
You walk past the one shop and you continue through the hustle and bustle of the streets as it begins to break back out into that cluster of people, of throngs, of just horrible... the opposite of isolation. Exactly what you don't want in a place. The sun beating down, you all feel again hotter and hotter. The afternoon sun just intensifies. And
This is why you
feel
wear
very
a hat.
clammy, very sweaty. And there's the endless stretches of alleyways and side streets make you realise you'd need an entire day alone to explore all the Trey Plateau has to offer.
Not being funny, Viatorum, but wandering around here in the middle of the day is probably not the best of ideas. Shall we go and find that tavern just to go and have a drink and get our wits about ourselves and maybe work out where we need to go.
Yes, it also might be worth going there so we could narrow down our search.
That's what I was thinking. We can ask some of the patrons and the tavern. They might point us in the right direction.
It's actually then that you see a very friendly-looking establishment up ahead. There's a tavern with a hanging plaque depicting a shrouded traveller with a walking staff wading through a sandstorm. Gold pleating letters above that reads, "The Weary Traveller."
That's the one.
That's the one.
Your
Best name
first,
for a pub.
your first chance to stop and find accommodation.
That's what matters.
Heading toward it then, you hear the thrum of another blimp overhead, streaking through the clouds above. Orange rays of the late afternoon sun, they glance off and illuminate the contours of the floating metallic palace. Behind the blimps you can see a long line of viaducts that help with the airflow in the cramped trade quarter. You head closer to the tavern then, and you hear a sharp shriek. With a loud gasp. Look! Look! It's the bloody sparrows! And you glance up, where some of the crowds were now pointing high above the blimps, and to your surprise you spot several figures flying in the sky, wearing great beak-like masks, adorned with feathers floating towards the blimp. They thrust down in what appears to be a kind of wingsuit, swooping to drop through the arcing metal of the blimp structure, dropping large canisters of bubbling green liquid to spill over the metal. It sizzles before the tall poles begin to snap one by one. The blimp shifts to one side in a horrible grating of cogs, and the spinning gyro blades giving way under the heavy weight of its as it's trying to lift back up again. You see from this blimp as it's like beginning to slant and the commotion that's going on, you see like a casual rope just begin to drift down from one of the blimps, and then you see what looks like a very short person beginning to climb down the rope. And that's when I'll ask you to come and join the table.
I've got my goggles on and I'm reading the blimp. The Hindenburg. What an unusual name for an airship.
Look, a new person.
It's filled with safe hydrogen.
If you'd like to describe what you're doing as you're heading down the rope.
So I'm casually coming down the rope, humming. Because this happens all the time, nothing out of the ordinary. And I get to the floor, I wink at the elf, and shh, and merge off into the tavern.
Okay, so you begin to head off to the tavern then, and there's at this point you also catch sight of a shaft of glassy bolts that protrudes from the blimp in answer, aiming at the wingsuit attackers. Thwap, thwap, thwap. Yeah, there we go. Bit of sound effects for you. Release the shafts as these glass bolts spring out in the air, arcing as the gunner tries to shoot these bloody sparrows as they're being called out of the sky. Another wingsuit comes into view then from the glaring sunlight in answer. Dive bombings towards the gun crew. There's a large metal object in their hands. The gunners spin the harpoons into position, but it's too late. Dodging idle flintlock fire from the blimp team, the stray bloody sparrow releases the large metal object. It collides with the blimp and the gun crew, and for a moment it's very eerily quiet. And then, as if the sound travelled inwards before, a deafening pulse encapsulated the streets. There was a roaring explosion as the blimp engulfs in fire and just hurtles gunners and crew over the sides as they begin to fall to their doom. Just above your head. You see several of the wingsuit gliders then begin to trace down in a quick swoop, holding out what looks like a flintlock of their own. They shoot, and a gust of powder and smoke as hooks attached to ropes fly free, twisting around the falling gunners and crew. Once attached, you see these bloody sparrows leap around the viaduct, attaching the ropes to let the crew hang limply. You see here that there's curses then that are spewed towards the sparrows as they dash back. One of them points now as you follow that signal, seeing one of the crew members wasn't so lucky. And you see that crew member begin to hurtle towards the street.
I'm starting to think it's us. Air accident. We don't even have to be on it. We just need to see it.
Yes. What was it with us in crashing airships?
This is
Yes.
This is like a flashback.
Just one slight thing I'm taking away from this. Those wingsuits are bitchy.
Oh, you're all so calm about this. That bloke's gonna fall on the slab.
You see this gunner, and you realise at the
where is he to and how far
the
up
pinpoint
in the
as it's beginning to fall, it seems to
is
be.
he falling right above us?
Well, give me a perception roll.
Because I am very tempted to try and catch him with whole person.
Can I just cast Featherfall on him?
Let's see what we got here. 18.
You roughly estimate that even though they're falling at a vastly great distance, but at this very moment they appear to be landing around 100 feet away from your current location.
Feather fall faster than I can.
I just need to remember how it works.
Can you cast it on a person?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can cast it on all of us just in case.
Why do you think I learned how to do it immediately after we fell out the sky?
So these people that are hanging, so these sparrows aren't in
60 feet,
kill anything.
From what you see them
up to
do,
5
what you saw them do,
creatures
they look
on
like they were
there.
trying to save all the crew from plummeting to their death.
You going to do it, or
They use these sort
So
of
is the
harpoons.
blimp
I don't
coming
use it.
down, or is it like going?
So it looks like it's kind of like falling, slanting, coming
as soon as it
down,
hits 60 feet,
but
you-
further off from a distance than where you are.
Does it look like it's going to miss the plateau?
It looks like it's going to crash into the plateau itself. Into this viaduct system, it looks like, because you've got all the buildings, it looks like it's going to come down into that.
Super.
Awesome.
Mm.
Awesome.
Yeah, you talk about how great the wingsuits are. That's just gonna fall on us. As soon as he's within 60 feet, I slow that
Okay,
shit down.
so as he's falling,
Slow that
put
shit
feather
down.
fall, and he begins to fall very slow.
So when I cast the spell, I blow a big bubble. And it catches him and it slows him down.
Just catches him and
Oh. So I don't have to do that for us.
and then as he hits the ground with the bubble, he's dead with no oxygen.
Oh, I need to improve that spell a little.
He hits the floor, then boom, and then just the little bubble just pops, and he's safely on the ground.
Well done, now.
He sort of looks up and catches sight with each of you.
Oh,
Whoever did that, thank you.
bye-bye. No, is that blimp gonna kill everyone?
He looks back up to the, he
We
looks
should
back
be
up to the
concerned.
blimp. Yes, everyone, head inside. Head inside.
Okay.
To the pub.
Okay. Let's just go inside.
It's the safest place to go.
Into
the pub and wait for all of this to blow over.
Literally wait for it to blow over.
Yeah.
It just blows off the doesn't it?
You have the thanks of the Water Guild.
Again.
Yeah, I should think so. We've been helping out a lot of water.
Give
Might as well
the
just hold shares in it. This
give me a perception roll as you're speaking to this officer. Then.
Whatever.
All of this, let's do it.
Yeah.
We'll leave it
Do
to
it.
super perception.
And I would also
iPhone.
say,
Oh,
as
shit.
you're walking off towards a tavern, you can also
Mine
get a perception roll.
So is this a perception like use a monocle for or no?
I'm all like,
It's just a general
fuck, that's
perception check of the moment.
21.
Nice.
Nice.
10.
14.
12.
23.
Nice.
I've got 15. Where's my perception?
It's easy to see your
That
wisdom.
one there. Whoever your wisdom
Plus
modifier
9.
is.
So 15. Sorry, thank you.
Okay. So, as you rolled 15 and above, you hear you hear a bit of a shrill shriek as you spot a young female child wearing a robe. She's clutching at her leg, and in the commotion, it looks as though a cart may have caused the girl to falter in her step. Above her, then, hurtling towards the street, you see a large engine turbine from the actual blimp.
Goodness.
One of the propeller contraptions that kept the blimp afloat in the skies. The skies still filled with smoke as the blimp continues to sink down between the streets ahead.
How far away is she? How far away is she?
She looks at, well, from actually, from your position, she's about 60 feet. From your position where you are, she's about 40 feet.
Right.
You got this, Gully.
Throw me!
Don't worry, baby. I got a plan.
We could just yeet Moss from where he is. He's a prime.
I use my hook of returning.
Yeah!
Okay.
In her leg.
I'm hoping she'll hold on to it.
Don't roll
Not
this
with her
badly.
neck. Right.
Don't get a natural one when you throw this thing.
Yeah.
Right on her head, embedded.
No.
Right.
Just pull her head back.
Dex?
No.
Okay, go for it.
Don't fuck it up.
Oh, that's not bad. 17.
17. Okay, you manage to, you throw the hook out, and you manage to just whip it around her leg. It's a skillful throw. And you manage to yank her and just pull her out of the way of the impending engine.
What would like return?
Oh, yes, that's right.
Return to me!
You just see her
flying through the air. Oh god!
So as she heads towards you, there's a sudden big thump as she just slams right into you at that moment in time, and you could fall to the floor. But the engine part just smashes onto the street where she previously was, in a clatter of pieces of mechanics and cogs and bolts. And you see this only like this smash was only about 20-30 feet away from you at that point.
We're so good at saving people.
She sort of looks up and seems a bit shaken and goes, "Thank you," and she quickly hobbles off, trying to escape from the various throng of people that begins to pour from the streets now, trying to get away from the blimp.
There's still more of it falling down, so.
Yeah.
Still falling out. It's a blimp. It's very slow.
Is she like injured? This poor little girl.
She's limping away to get the cover. The looks of it at this point, she's just thanked you very quickly.
It'll just be like getting the talent.
Yeah.
But like this.
Get inside, yeah.
Get inside, young lady. Like slightly winded though.
You see that she heeds your advice and begins to try and head into the tavern. And looking up into the sky, then you watch as the same bloody sparrow who had previously carried the large explosive device peers down to you, saluting as they glide off to circle in one full loop. Before you hear a heavy cluster of
Give him a one finger salute.
Just be like, I'm just going to be
That's
like,
full of terrorism.
I'm like, thanks for saving everyone while I'm killing them.
Before you
I think they weren't trying to kill anyone. They were actually trying to
destroy the blimp,
but also they weren't trying to grapple.
About that before they exploded.
Yeah, they were trying to grapple the crew off, so they didn't kill him.
He still blew up a blimp above a city.
Yeah, I think it was a targeted attack.
Not the best move.
Yeah.
Somebody doesn't like the Water Guild, does
Yeah.
Well, you know, when a big corporation decides who owns the water that's on their land, that's kind of generally a bad thing.
It's generally not.
To any big water corporations out there, might be.
We just lost our water corporation sponsorship right now.
I'm going to drink this before they get it. They come through the door and I'm
You want to
You
How many big bits are falling? Is there anything?
nothing else in your immediate area at this point.
Okay.
You hear a loud static voice then boom out from the skies, and you just hear the phrase, "Free the people! The ships will not be held down. Water for all. It will not be a price any longer." And with that, one by one, you see the wingsuit gliders begin to swoop down low, vanishing back through into the viaducts themselves. You hear less loud crescendo of cores being heard bouncing from the long tunnels inside.
Okay.
But the nearby guard then begins to usher citizens away from the scene as you see more guards march around the nearby corner. They begin to call out to each of the people around you. For your own safety, head inside. Seek cover. We don't know if they'll be back or not. If you've been hurt by wreckage, then please seek help from your nearby Templar. The Sultan of Jadizza will cover your expenses or find your nearest uniformed cleric. We are here to help. Come! One by one, you begin to head towards the tavern.
Yes.
Seeking refuge.
And hunt.
And a pint.
And a pint.
It comes in pints.
You push open the door of the tavern. And that's where we'll hold it.
But I'm so thirsty for a pint.
Got to play for 3 minutes.
I know.
What an
It
entrance,
was
though.
very exciting.
What an
3
That was an
minutes.
entrance.
Yeah.
That was an entrance.
Totally.
So many questions.
Flash heart vibes.
Welcome to Devonity.
Yeah. Teammate.
Yes.
Nice to meet you all, or to. I'm going to meet you all.
Yes.
Next
Quite.
episode.
When we have the time to describe ourselves.
What if an engine falls on the tavern? You went.
Yes, and then the blimp crashes into the tavern. Everyone make new characters.
Roll again.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
Cool. Well, we've not lost Squiggles yet. No one died.
Right.
I'd say, all in all.
Safe to go all the
100%
way.
successful crit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Save,
Yeah,
I'm intrigued as to what Squiggles is. I can't work
So are
them
we.
out.
So,
With his big eyes, he sounds like a bush baby.
Yeah, he sounds pretty adorable.
It is
Yeah.
magic bush big, basically.
Cool.
In fact, so big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
You're gonna sell that shit in the
What, his
market.
eyes?
Get in the gallery. No, it's art.
Is that?
Oh,
We're going to get in the gallery and everything.
Yeah. Come see his exhibition. Go and work with Squiggles.
Yeah.
His
Art of the
masterpiece is his
future.
depiction of moss chops.
So I guess the wingsuits are something like very unusual.
Wingsuit's not something you've seen before.
No.
It's quite, quite
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
different, quite unique.
They would have been handy.
Didn't notice anything else on the blimp, did I, that I would have recognised?
They definitely did notice me and David giving each other looks when you described a certain weapon being used.
What was the weapon?
Couldn't tell you, could I? Didn't see all of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
the weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, you might have seen something about that weapon.
Might have recognised it slightly, going, oh god, they have them here. But yeah. But no, it's good. City seems quite cool. Seems quite unusual, though. Like, there is quite a divide then.
I want one of those big ones.
Heavy on the whole
the
class
strawberry one.
division thing here.
You're welcome.
Very big on the whole dystopia thing.
Yeah. So is the town guard like something that you see positioned everywhere then?
So the town guard are very, you have a lot of town guard in Jadizza,
they've
in
all been quite
most of the
friendly.
streets. So the only places that you've not seen town guard is the various alleyways and small streets that seem to lead off from, because you've been following through the main trade quarter and the main huge, that runs through the entirety of the trade plateau. But you have seen lots of offshore streets and alleyways, but again, you've not explored enough, so you're not sure. But from what you've seen so far, guards have been posted pretty much everywhere.
And clerics too.
Yeah, clerics seem to be present. It's a very spiritual city from what you can gather, but there is such a mix of cultures.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
Very good.
Yes.
Well, let's see what happens next week.
Ooh, we're in the big city now, boys.
City boys.
We're in the big city, boys.
There'll be less explosions.
Yeah, oh my god, can we go anywhere without things
Destroying the place.
blowing up and falling out of the sky? Like, we just got here like,
That's our thing. We just
What a
go
lovely
near an
rocket.
airship and just go.
Yeah.
Everywhere we go, the water
As
stops.
soon as, the
Have you
water
noticed?
stops and things
The
explode.
water stops.
Are we the heralds of the end times?
Everywhere we turn up,
We
the
the
water
horsemen of
dries
the
up.
apocalypse.
Yeah.
We just don't realise.
realise that.
We got
The harbingers of doom.
Yeah. Next time we get to a new place and we see a blimp, we're just turning around.
I think next time you look around, you'll probably see like a swarm of
Pestilence, yeah, that's the
plague.
one.
Yeah, damn it.
I don't think you've actually looked
famine.
around yet from where you've always been moving forward.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Well, join us next time, next Bat Channel.
Oh.
Oh yeah, wrong show. Be safe. See you next time. Channel Devonity.
Bye.